I'm going to tell you how to break the conversation down where every conversation should feel the same. Today, I want to talk to you about how to talk to or what to say to motivated sellers. Now, that's the lifeblood of what we do. Because if you're a wholesaler, fix and flipper, subject to artist, house hacker, AirBNB, BRRRR Method, whatever it is, you have to start with a motivated seller. Or more importantly, our goal is to acquire property for less than market value. Now, the first thing I would advise you to do is stop looking at them as motivated sellers. Now, it's very common in this space to call them motivated sellers, but we have to ask ourselves, are they really motivated? Are they really motivated to sell their house below market value? Chances are no, right? Now, there are a certain type of motivated sellers. Those are individuals selling on Zillow, individuals selling on Realtor.com, individuals selling for sale by owner. You see that sign in the house, in front of the house with the real tiny writing that you can't barely see. They're motivated. And lastly, individuals that have their house for sale with a real estate agent on MLS. Now, all these individuals are actually motivated. But the thing to keep in mind is they're motivated to sell at the price and terms that they want. What we're looking for is distressed property owners. Now, you're still going to hear me call them motivated sellers because that's what we all do. But in reality, we're looking for individuals with a distressing factor that's going to make them more likely to do business with us. And more importantly, more likely to sell their home to us or contract their home to us for 70% or less than that back-end market value or ARV. Okay, with that being said, we have to identify distressed property owners. So I always say, start with who you're going after. Start with the type of individuals you want to target. So what's the distressing factor you want to focus on? Me personally, my favorite to do is pre-foreclosure. Okay, because once you know that, now you can start identifying what to say to them. Now, any conversation you have with a motivated seller or distressed seller should have 3 parts. This is really going to simplify it. This is going to be super simplified, even for the people that are terrified of cold calling. I'm going to tell you how to break the conversation down where every conversation should feel the same. Now, you'll never say the same exact thing, but every conversation should have 3 parts. Now, the first part is your value proposition. Now, this is how you explain how you're going to provide help, provide a sense of convenience, or solve a problem. That's what value proposition is. So you see how we identify our list, because if we know who we're prospecting to, it's super easy for us to start pinpointing what our value proposition is. So when you're on the phone with them and they start taking you out to left field, you bring them back by pinpointing on that value proposition. Hey, let me assist you with this pre-foreclosure situation. Let me speak with you about how delinquent you are. How can we solve the problem of your delinquent payments? What's your reinstatement amount? You want to know the talking points that recenters them back to what the problem is, and you want to provide value proposition. So that's the first thing you want to target. Every conversation should be centered on that. It's hard for a person to curse you out if you're talking about helping, assisting, or providing convenience. Now, the next thing you want to do, part 2 of the conversation, should be centered on creating this sense of urgency. There shouldn't be an evergreen offer just out there lingering, because they're going to utilize that. And I'm sure you've been through it too, where you reached out to a person and they had 3 months before their house goes to auction. All right. And they tell you, you know what? I'm just not interested, or not right now, or I'm going to figure this thing out. What happens about 3 days before the auction comes? Your phone's blowing up. You're getting text messages. They're writing you letters. Like, this is what happens to me. 3 days before the auction, they reach out and they want to do something right now. So you have to flip the script. You have to create this sense of urgency for them to act right now. I use words like time is of the essence. You have to act fast. These individuals won't wait for their money. All different types of phrasing that implores them to act quickly. I have a limited amount of cash to buy in your zip code. I'm working with other individuals just like you. Whatever it takes, you want them to act immediately. And sometimes I tell them up front, this offer won't be here forever. So when you make an offer, put a deadline on it. Don't just let your offer linger. You have to create that sense of urgency to make them act now. Now, lastly, the third part of the conversation is a call to action, also known as a CTA. You want to tell them what to do and when to do it, right? Call me Thursday. I'm evaluating properties on Mondays and Wednesdays from 5 to 9. Please give me a call. You want to tell them the mode of communication that you prefer, and you also want to tell them when to contact you. Now, keep in mind, every conversation will have different words used, but every conversation should feel the same if you go into it with a game plan. So this is your game plan. Focus on value proposition, create a sense of urgency, and do not get out of that call or off that call without presenting a call to action.